This is a classic Jamaican curry chicken, warm, comforting, and packed with deep aromatic flavor. Today I'm going to show you how I make a hearty pot of melt in your mouth curry and what I love to serve it with. This chicken is surprisingly simple for what you get, but with a few key techniques you can make it consistently great every single time. Let's get into it. For this recipe, I'm using 6 chicken thighs that I already cleaned up and vacuum sealed. Vacuum sealing is a great way to store food and meal prep, so I plan to do a video on that pretty soon, so look out for that. Even though I'm using thighs, it's more common to chop up the entire chicken for curry. Curry chicken back is a popular dish and it's essentially the same thing. I have a recipe video that I will link below. I do a few things different in that video, so check it out to really scratch that curry itch. I'm going to chop these into bite-sized pieces. Bones are sometimes a hassle to cut through. You could get boneless chicken pieces, but that would sacrifice so much flavor, so why would you do that? Curry chicken back works so well because it's almost all bones. I already cleaned this chicken up and gave it a vinegar bath before freezing, so I'm just going to get right into it. I'm going to season this simply with just a bit of salt and black pepper. This is green seasoning. It's a bunch of aromatic herbs and spices blended with a bit of oil and vinegar. I will link a detailed guide on how to make it below. I added some powdered seasoning to this batch of green seasoning to give it an extra oomph. Alternatively, you could chop up each individual ingredient. That's actually what I did in that curry chicken back video. Blending makes everything a bit more convenient and much easier. I'm adding like 3 big tablespoons to our chopped chicken. Next up we have curry powder. The Better Pack brand is a favorite for Jamaicans because it's turmeric heavy with straightforward flavors. Locally we have 2 types of curry powder. Jamaican curry, whose primary ingredient is turmeric with just a few other spices like pimento or allspice and cumin. Its simpler flavor profile makes it much more versatile. It adds a beautiful color without overcomplicating flavors. Speaking of complicated, next we have Indian curry powder. This is still Jamaican and has very little to do with how curry is used in Indian cooking. The flavor profile is much more complex due to the longer list of spices. Indian curry adds a lot of complex flavors that are harder to balance, so Jamaican curry is a lot more popular. I'll touch briefly on the history of Jamaican curry a bit later in the video. For now, I'm adding about a tablespoon to my chicken. Next up, I'm chopping a fresh scotchy to add. This one is a bit young, but it still has some flavor. I can't complain too much because I got a few for free. Hurricane Melissa has turned Scotch bonnet peppers into a luxury item. $3,000 a pound is crazy. Once our hot pepper is in, I'm just going to give this a thorough mix. This next part is entirely by feel. If the color looks a little light, I'll go in with a bit more curry powder. I'm being careful not to overdo it though. I like to add a little now to get those flavors going early, but you could skip adding it at this stage if you really want to. I love the look of that. I'm going to wrap this up and let it marinate for a couple of hours. 30 minutes is fine, but overnight is best. Our chicken is now fully marinated, looking and smelling wonderful. This next step is key to getting the best flavor in any Jamaican curry. On medium heat, I need a big splash of oil. To that, I'm adding about a tablespoon and a half of curry powder. This step is called blooming the curry, or as most Jamaicans know it, burning the curry. Doing this removes the raw bitterness from the curry powder and develops the aromas from the spices. If you've ever had Jamaican curry that tastes flat, chalky or raw with that in-your-face turmeric flavor, this step was most likely skipped. You only need to saute for a minute or two until it gets a little deeper in color and you start to smell those sweet aromas. Even though we say we burn the curry, we actually don't want to burn it. Once that's done, we can go ahead and add our marinated chicken. I'm going to brown it to develop even more flavor. The history of curry in Jamaica is a bit more complex than you might think. Curry powder was actually a British interpretation of Indian food, not something traditionally used in India. Indian cooking is diverse, with each region using its own spice blends or masalas. The British condensed all that complexity into a single curry powder, which eventually made its way to Jamaica. Jamaicans made it their own, giving it a unique twist with local ingredients and techniques. Later, Indian indentured servants who came to Jamaica also left their mark, influencing how curry evolved on the island, always within a Jamaican context. So the Indian style curry powder I mentioned earlier is shaped by Jamaican Indians, and even then it's still uniquely Jamaican. With this curry, I tried covering it for a few minutes in the hopes that it might release some of its juices. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It's not a big deal either way. Alright, so I'm going to add enough water to mostly submerge the chicken. You could take it a step further and add chicken stock for extra flavor, but just water will do the trick. What's also common is adding a bit of coconut milk for an extra layer of flavor, but today I'm keeping it simple. We have some delicious brown bits at the bottom of the pan that will release a ton of flavor into the curry. Browning plays a large role in any Jamaican stew, so don't worry about a little color in your meat or in the bottom of your pan. Perfect, that's set now. All that's left is to let this simmer on medium low to tenderize the chicken and develop those delicious flavors. That gives us enough time to make a beautiful pot of steamed white rice. This is the most common side for curry chicken, and it's quick and easy. Here I have a pack of plain long grain white rice. Usually when I cook white rice, I just eyeball the ingredients. Cook enough rice and you get a feel for the rice to water ratio. Usually it's about 1 part rice to between 1.5 and 2 parts water for most types of rice. You can adjust it a bit if you want softer grains or firmer grains. That's about 2 cups of rice, and I'm going to give this a proper wash. Once washed, I'm adding about 3 cups of water. All the grains are submerged with a little bit on top. Simple plain white rice is good with flavorful curry, but let's make it great. I'm going to season this with a few dried pimento or allspice berries. I also have some fresh thyme. Dry thyme was a scam last year and it's still a scam this year. That won't change. I also have 2 stalks of scallion. Give them a little crush so they release more flavor. You could also chop them up if you want, no problem. A big knob of butter. That's going to make the rice richer and help keep the grains separate. Next, season with a bit of salt. You can keep it light. The butter adds a lot of flavor, especially if it's salted. Next, I'm placing this on medium heat to come up to a boil. You can see that I have about an inch of water above the rice. That's a decent guide that we're on the right track. I almost forgot the fresh scotchy. Keep it whole so it releases just that scotchy flavor and none of the heat. I'm boiling this for a few minutes covered, then I'll reduce the heat to low to steam for about 20 minutes. Nice, that's done and looking really good. All that's left now is to remove the aromatics and fluff the rice. I really love this rice because it's aromatic and flavorful. It's still rich enough to enjoy on its own. Those are some tender grains. Yup, nice and buttery. It's roughly 20 to 25 minutes in and our curry is coming along nicely. The chicken is pretty much done, but it's not quite fall apart tender. We could let this reduce for a few more minutes and we would have a pretty good curry chicken. But let's give it a taste before we move on. Good, but it's missing a few things. Curry, along with most other Jamaican stews, is usually re-seasoned close to the end. We use a lot of those fresh aromatics we seasoned our chicken with. This layers lighter, fresher flavors over the stewed, more developed ones, giving the dish a more dynamic taste with plenty of aroma and depth. Now is also a great time to add a diced carrot. Usually for stews, we add the potato and carrot combination. This stretches the stew a bit and makes it more substantial. You could also add broad beans or even spinach. They serve the same function. In this case, I only have carrots, so I'm just adding carrots along with the fresh aromatics. I'm being conservative with that scotchy, don't want to make the curry too hot. All that's left now is to let those aromatics and the carrot cook and release their flavors. That's going to take maybe another 10 minutes. Our chicken is already cooked, so the pieces will probably be falling apart. That's not a bad thing, but if you want firmer pieces of chicken, just add a little less water and add the aromatics earlier. Boom, that is looking good. Smells incredible too. I really want to dig in, but we have one more thing to make real quick. The last time I made stir fried veg, I didn't show the process and some of you wanted to see that as well. In a frying pan, I need a splash of oil, half a sliced onion, the leftover scotchy from earlier. I have a thick sliced carrot that goes in next, and then I have some string beans or green beans. These are going bad, so I really needed to use them up. Next, I'm seasoning this, starting with black pepper, a bit of salt, and a dash of garlic powder. All that's left now is to saute these until the veggies are just limp. I like a bit of crunch, so I'm trying not to overcook them. Even though this is stir fried, I think I might have used a little too much oil, but that is looking real good. The veg is ready, our chicken is ready, and the rice is ready. So let's plate everything. Now is a great time to tell you guys Happy New Year. I really appreciate all the love and support over the years, and you guys are the real MVPs. I love seeing comments where you try some of these recipes and crush them. I also love how you mix it up and use the ingredients you have to make recipes your own. All of that gives me a sense of pride. Our subbies are some really beautiful people. I get a lot more comments these days, so I can't respond like I used to, but I at least try to read every single one. Thanks so much for the love, especially during Hurricane Melissa. I had some really exciting videos planned that I had to scrap, but I'll be getting back into it soon. With my rambling out of the way, let's get into this. That is it. That's an incredible meal, and for a lot of Jamaican, a top comfort food. Perfectly cooked rice, deeply flavored tender curry chicken, and crunchy juicy veggies. I expected this to be falling apart a lot more, but it's holding up pretty good. Browning this made it a bit darker than usual, but it's so much flavor. That piece of chicken looks a lot like ginger. Using whole ginger and curry is common, so that's trauma for a lot of people. Nothing is worse than saving a few pieces of meat to really savor them, only to bite in and find out that it's just ginger. That's why I like to blend my ginger in the green season. Anyways, this is a banger. Flavorful, comforting, and a true taste of Jamaica. Special shout out to our patrons. You guys keep the kitchen cooking. Thanks a ton for watching to the end. Bless up, and I will catch you in the next one.